Hey, what's up fam all around the world? If this is your first time rolling with us, we're hyped to have you here. Smash that like button and hit subscribe to join the crew. So here's the crazy update. The US just dropped the bomb, literally. They're using what they call dumb bombs in Yemen.
The Pentagon admitted it. The Houthis still got fighting them. We haven't been able to break through their defenses yet.
Meanwhile, Yemen is getting slammed with over 70 airstrikes and the Houthis are straight up challenging America. They even dropped the code word Truman as a jab. The UN just blocked humanitarian aid from reaching the region. Total disaster. Over 2 million people are now without food or medicine. Things are getting real ugly. And get this, Russia's S-300 defense systems just popped up in Sinai. Egypt and Israel are trading barbs, and Cairo's straight up ignoring US orders to pull back from the area. There's also buzz about a shady Turkey-Israel deal to carve up Syria.
Iran's like, we're not negotiating unless there's respect, and Trump's slapping more sanctions on them. Tehran's not playing. They're threatening to blow up Israel's Dimona reactor if it goes too far.
Meanwhile, an ex-Ukrainian officer made a wild confession, and Japan is stepping in to help Ukraine's military. NATO's acting like it's World War III out here. Back to Yemen, the war's heating up big time. The Houthis are holding strong, and the US is going berserk trying to crush their defenses. It's the same game. Houthis fight from the ground, America from the sky.
Reuters says things got real nasty when US airstrikes hit a residential area in Houthi. 2 people killed, 13 injured, including women and kids. Analysts are saying all this US military movement in the Middle East is really about cornering Yemen. Some think Iran's the real target in the next few days. According to the Washington Post, a US official said the Houthis still have the power to hit American Navy ships and commercial vessels. They've already hit over 300 Houthi targets since March, using B-2 bombers from Diego Garcia. Now the Vincent Carrier Group is heading into the area to boost US presence even more.
In response, Mohammed Ali al-Houthi clapped back, saying the US is hiding the aircraft carrier Truman's real location. He challenged them to prove it hasn't bailed with real-time footage. Savage. US Defense Secretary Peter Hicks confirmed they're not letting up on the strikes until the Houthis stop messing around in the Red Sea. Big twist. The UN office in Djibouti just let the first oil tanker dock at Ras Isa port in Hudaydah since the US blockade started. Apparently the importer isn't tied to the Houthis, so not all fuel shipments are blocked, only ones directly linked to the movement.
Now switching gears to Palestine, the UN says nearly 400,000 people have been displaced in Gaza. Shelters are packed and running out of essentials. Humanitarian aid is still stuck at the borders. UN Secretary-General Guterres said blocking aid has brought on new waves of tragedy, with people going over a month without food, fuel, or medicine. The temporary ceasefire helped free captives and deliver some help, proving the humanitarian system can still work.
The U.S. State Department told Fox News that it's time to release the captives. They said Hamas can't keep running the show in Gaza, and insisted Tel Aviv has the right to defend itself. Ending the fighting and freeing hostages is the only way forward. Meanwhile, things are heating up between Egypt and Israel. Israeli media says Egypt just deployed the S-300 missile system near the Philly corridor. First time ever since the Camp David Accords. A site called Nazif claims satellites spotted tanks and heavy gear moving on the Egyptian border, along with airport and port upgrades in Sinai, major military prep. That same S-300 system can threaten Israeli planes from up to 300 kilometers away, a clear warning shot. Apparently, Cairo recently told the US Sanaa when asked to dismantle some of this military hardware, saying it's about protecting national security.
From Cairo to Syria, it's wild. Middle East Eye says Turkey and Israel have been talking through back channels to set up a no-conflict zone in Syria. Netanyahu reportedly told his cabinet there's a small window to strike the T4 airbase before Turkish forces show up. Turkey's trying to install a layered air defense system there too.
So here's the deal. Turkey's been setting up military bases in Syria, and that might just keep Israeli jets from bombing stuff in the area. Word is, after Israel's latest airstrike, both sides are working out some kind of no-conflict understanding. Turkey's showing some goodwill now and agreed to talks after the US started turning up the pressure.
Still, Netanyahu's not backing down. He's pushing for total disarmament in southern Syria, and he wants Turkey to back off and keep their troops out of the region. Now, over in Damascus, things between Iran and the US are getting real spicy. Iran says it's down to talk, but only if it's with respect. They're all about protecting their national interests and fixing things back home.
Meanwhile, Israeli Channel 12 reported that Netanyahu got called to Washington in a hurry after President Trump started direct negotiations with Iran. Iranian officials told Reuters they're playing it safe, not trusting the US at all going into these nuclear talks that are supposed to kick off early next week. Deep doubts. Zero trust.
At the same time, the White House dropped the hammer. Trump hit Iran with tough new sanctions. He basically said, either cut a deal or pay the price. If Iran ditches diplomacy, then it's go time and not the good kind. The U.S. State Department added that what's going down in Amman isn't official negotiations yet, more like feel-out talks to see if a real deal's even possible.
But Iran's foreign minister clapped back. No direct talks unless the US chills with the maximum pressure and threats. And get this, apparently the US gave in to that condition, at least for now. Things escalated quick though. Iranian sites dropped a video straight-up warning that if anyone targets their nuclear reactors, they'll respond with a massive missile strike. Israel's Dimona reactor? Top of their hit list. Yeah, not subtle.
On top of that, the Russian Duma just approved a new strategic partnership deal with Iran, deeper ties between the two countries. A Russian deputy foreign minister told RIA Novosti that Moscow doesn't see a need to give Iran direct military help yet, even if the US hits them, but they're ready to use every tool they've got to defuse the situation. Russia, China, and Iran are even running scenarios in Moscow on what happens post-nuke deal.
Now flip the page. Let's talk about the messy saga of Russia versus Ukraine and the West. It's wild. Political earthquakes everywhere. Trump-era chaos and Russian pressure are still shaking the whole European scene. US-Russia relations? They're warming up in ways that are making Europe real nervous. Kiev's dream of Western support turning into a total nightmare.
According to Russian media TASS, the second round of US-Russia talks is set for April 10th in Istanbul. They're trying to get diplomatic missions between the two back on track. The Russian teams led by their ambassador to Washington, Alexander Darchev. The U.S. squad will be led by Assistant Secretary of State Sona Koltar.
On the battlefield, things are ugly. Ukrainian officer Vitalia Litivan told Ukrainska Pravda that their forces are struggling hard, and commanders are constantly ordering retreats just to save troops' lives, especially in areas that might fall to Russian control any day now. Meanwhile, Japan's stepping up. Defense Minister Yasukazu Hamada told Kyodo News his country is ready to support NATO's efforts in Ukraine, offering training and equipment. During his meeting with NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte, he said Japan's security situation is getting tougher too, and that boosting ties with NATO is more important than ever.
Big thanks for watching, y'all. Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Here at X News, we keep it real, fair, and raw. Catch you in the next vid.